Okay, most of them. There's me. Okay. Are you almost ready to get going?
Yep.
Got your stuff in your hand?
I'm ready.
Okay. He's got his notes
Oh,
and his little cell phone. Okay, now I'll show these two. Okay.
Hey, good morning. This is about the cell phone as a little device that everyone has and everyone uses because it's a very big part of our daily life. We use this to do our banking, surfing the web, music, taking photographs, taking videos. This thing has really evolved into something that's a big part of our everyday existence. But yet, people use these and don't realize either why they're so obsessed with them or what dangers they possess. So they can be very, very deadly instruments if people aren't aware of what they can do and how they can be used against somebody. So I think it's very important to have at least knowledge and the information you need to make the right decisions and to keep yourself safe with those phones. Because first of all, it's very important to learn about why we like them so much. And second, it's important to know how it can be used against us and then what we can do to protect ourselves in the future. Very important topic to me because I use them. I don't necessarily like them, but they're part of everyday life and everyone has them, so you kind of have to assimilate. But I don't have the obsession to use it as much as some people do. I've seen that everywhere you go, that all you see are people doing this or doing this, and even social interactions have suffered because even on dates or people talking to each other at dinner, you see a lot of this going on with people right across from each other, and that's socially a problem in and of itself. So being aware of that, if you see yourself doing that, maybe stopping that would be a good healthy thing for you to do. Also, it's important because with kids or grandkids, the future generations that are using these things now every day, it's important for them to know the safe ways of using it and what not to do while using them and so forth. So first of all, why are we so obsessed with these? Well, basically Huffington Post said 60% of people admit to using their phones at least 8 hours a day and think they may have an addiction problem. That's people polled think that. 8 hours a day is a long time to be on your phone, and that would be considered a similar addiction as to having an alcohol or drug problem. And there are counseling sessions available for people who have this fear that they're addicted to their phone. So that's a good step, is to maybe get counseling if you think you have an issue. Second of all, there's dangers with these phones as far as what happens to them in the hands of criminals or the people who have malicious intent. If you put one of these and combine it with like social media like Facebook, you pretty much are giving away everything about you. Like for example, people often say, hey, we're at the zoo, or hey, I'm at this restaurant. What does that tell people who hack into these things or watching you or trying to stalk you? It tells them, hey, I'm not home. Or hey, here are my kids. My kids are at this function. My kids aren't home. They're here. So it's giving a criminal person or a person that's trying to hurt you every information they need to go ahead and find you or maybe do harm. So we set ourselves up for that just because we're so used to the convenience of the tool that we don't realize the danger we're putting ourselves in. And so why do we do all these things? Why is it so important for us to put ourselves in danger and throw caution to the wind just because we want to be connected? Well, first off, Psychology Today says a lot of it stopped doing the thing. It's just a world thing. Is that still taping?
Yeah, still taping.
Okay. Sorry, little computer glitch there. But Psychology Today says, one of the reasons we use our phones is because it makes us aware of our place in space and time, our conscious awareness that we are here, and it gives us validation that we exist. And so then another reason we like the phone so much is because it takes pictures. And in photography, it kind of captures a moment in time and makes us almost immortal. That we know that as long as a picture exists and it's on the web, it'll never be erased, it will always be there. And that gives us some type of psychological comfort. But we were able to do all these things safely without giving people that want to hurt us all the information they need to do so. So in other words, the cell phone itself and all the features it has isn't necessarily bad. It's just being able to use it responsibly. And so psychiatry today, psychcentral.com indicates that one of the reasons we are needing our phone so much is because it's a learned behavior, and they kind of assimilate that to toilet training. So as babies, when we were being potty trained, we realized that, hey, if I do this action, then I'll get this reaction from my parents. And so potty training is good, I get rewarded. And so this is basically a virtual or cyber toilet for a lot of people. And so they know if I use this phone, I will get rewards by people liking me or posting toward me or answering me, and that's instant gratification. And so they say that the toilet potty training scenario is a lot similar to why we like our phones, which makes sense. And see, there was a Dr. Christian Leibowitz of USC is talking about the negative predator problem with cell phone use. And why are we so obsessed with the phone is also because we fear not being part of the whole society or being connected, and we fear that we're going to lose connection with other people. And so from those fears, people with bad intent will feed on those and will be able to manipulate them and cause you to have dangers in your life. Another reason we do this is because in some way we think we're actually helping our anxieties by having the phone, because we feel it's almost like a security blanket. I have my phone so everything's okay. I can get contacted, I can contact other people. And inside, we feel like we're better off. But yet, with that feeling comes another feeling that we don't recognize, and that's the anxiety that it causes us. Because even though we think we're feeling good about the phone and it gives us security, it's causing anxiety because it makes us want to make sure we have our phone, make sure it's plugged in, make sure it's turned on, make sure it's charged. And all these things we have to do kind of ties this thing to us in a really weird way. I mean, it's like this thing almost controls our life. And so when we don't have that, that causes anxiety and depression and a lot of other things. And not to mention the fact that people use these to text and talk on the phone while driving, which makes them impaired as if they were on the influence of drugs or alcohol. And it causes lots of deaths and accidents. So yes, in short, the phone is a good tool. In and of itself, it's not a bad thing. Being able to be educated on why you use the phone, what causes you to have these impulses to use the phone, is an important tool to make sure you use a healthy way, and making sure that you're safe so you don't put yourself in danger by doing things that normally seem like a very benign, easy use of the phone. It could never be used by anyone bad, but yet it's important to know that you have to be able to your actions with the phone can either be used for good or bad on the outside world. So being aware of those things helps you become more safe. And so in conclusion, I think we really need to focus on why we use our phone, how it can be used safely, empowering yourself with knowledge so you make better choices, and maybe even considering journaling a little bit. To the National Institute of Environmental Health and Science says that to help overcome anxiety or emotional connection to your phone that's unhealthy, unplugging for a couple days is good if you can. Seeking treatment or counseling is also a good choice. And also just turning off the phone and going outside, doing something, reading a book, talking to friends, just going to a movie, just leave the phone at home, unplug it, and especially at night, unplug the phone, don't leave it on, don't worry about it, you know, get a good 8 hours of sleep. And these are certain things you can do to help use your cell phones more safely, because they're not going to go anywhere, so it's important to let us know how to use them in a proper way.